on the T side. Complexity CT, keeping things standard.
Nothing too crazy. You'll see Stanislav pick up a little bit of utility. Slemmy will pick up the kit and a smoke. And look at Nitro to cause a little bit of distraction towards B. Run some noise, try to find a frag, just be that annoyance. As Liquid just work across the map, you can see they have 3 players in Palace. Stanislav rotating now with a smoke. We'll see where they decide to throw this. As Complexity have gone for a full retake towards A. Desi CT, 1 player mid-window. Liquid, if they're able to get themselves in this site, it's going to be a retake situation for Complexity. But look for the kid on Slemmy to come into play.
Yeah, Liquid have done a good job already of clearing the top of mid, ensuring that Complexity didn't go for an aggression. So it's going to be the T side to come on here. They're going to be pushing on forward. Desi able to find himself that first headshot. Elige goes down. JDM trades it back, however, 4v4 as that bomb will be planted.
Yeah, bomb goes down. Slemmy in CT. He does have the kit and a smoke. Keep that in mind as there's one player continuing to pressure towards CT. Surreal's going to be able to find Hayes. Stanislav sandwich. He'll drop to death, falling from stairs. It leaves it all in JDM. 1v2. He gets one, but double peek comes through. Complexity on the back of a 2K from Surreal and Def are able to pick up the pistol. Nice shots and a great retake. As Liquid just got separated. They had one player in CT. The rest were kind of just dispersed across the site. Complexity with their USPs were able to just tap some heads.
Yeah, it kept things simple. I mean, we didn't see that big smoke play coming into the bomb site as well, so easy little first pickings there as the bomb was planted. And obviously with no confusion being made by Liquid, Complexity had a read on the situation, and it all just comes down to hitting shots, which is exactly what they did. JDM as well hit 3, but that was not enough. Nobody else on Liquid picking up a kill in the pistol. And so it is Liquid yet again on pistols. They're going to have JDM with his hands on a Desert Eagle, so he'll be looking for that long-range pick and then P250s to follow suit if need be. I like this, though. Complexity, they go straight into the 3 M4s, so they're not looking to take too many chances with the SMGs, but Surreal does make contact towards Underpass first and foremost, and then falls into the safety of the connector. So he's going to rely on Slemmy to help him out, and a crossfire set here from Def.
Nice opening pick from Def. He'll find the head of Nitro. That M4 is going to fall back. Slemmy, top connector with his UMP, has utility to use. Look for him to use it shortly as he's starting to get pressured. Surreal holding the catwalk cross. Elige about to come into his peripheral. He'll tag him down a little bit. Going to take the repeat. Surreal has to be careful. Slemmy might just lose his head as he is just going to fall back. Liquid going to fall off top. Mid control, pick up the bomb towards B apps. And look for an execution towards B, but Complexity, I mean, they have a man advantage already. Def is down to 3 HP. But they're playing extremely pushed back into the site, and these M4s getting ready to shred these players as they get ready to execute towards B. Complexity with 1 member towards Murder Hole. Gonna rotate quickly, so see how this works
low,
out.
though, so Android's gonna have to hit some shots because Def's already down. Android, the last line of defense as the rotate comes on over. He takes 2, stops the bomb as well, till Stanislav is able to grab 1 frag, but the rotation arrives in time. So 2 of those M4s gonna be retrieved, one of which is lost. A bit of an investment there kind of sent under the bridge, unfortunately, for Complexity. But at least they grabbed themselves that conversion point. I mean, nice little attempt from Liquid towards the bottom of mid, just looking for information, trying to make contact towards Catwalk. And then ultimately, they do pick up a few frags. So they make the best of a bad situation, and that translates into the round 3 AK buy that we see here.
Yeah, AK's across the board. Elige, the only one without utility. Everyone else, they have 3 smokes, flashes. They're going to fight for mid-control. Slemmy's going to be pushed up aggressive A ramp. Surreal gets himself in ladder room. So Complexity are pretty content to give Liquid this kind of under-window, top-mid pressure and control. But they're going to contest if they decide to go up catwalk with a player in ladder room. Def was going to be holding connector, while Desi gets aggressive with his UMP towards A ramp. So Complexity know they have to give up part of the map, and they will aggress towards another part. A ramp pick, going to go the way of Complexity. Nice double peek. Desi finds it. Def now towards jungle, going to be holding top connector. He has 2 players coming in, and he does have teammates to support him. The peek comes through. He's already taken some damage. They're wide swinging on this right into a crossfire. Somehow Hayes comes out on top. Desi and Sandwich. That's his second, as Slemmy will lock down the site. Stanislav in a 1v4. He's able to get the first towards CT. Second is here. Desi is going to get help from a teammate. And there you have it. That's how Complexity pick up the round. Giving up mid-control, letting Team Liquid fall into a false sense of security, pushing down a ramp, taking another part of the map, and forcing Liquid right into the meat grinder of A site.
Yeah, great counterplay by Complexity there to just counter the mid push of Liquid. So ultimately, once they swing wide from connector, they're stepping right into the crossfire, and the trade frags shine through. Now, Stanislaw in the 1v4, he tries to deal as much damage as he can before the round comes to a close, and he was nearly able to grab the Desi out from underneath Sandwich, who does just escape with a sliver of health. It's Slemmy pushing forward, though, using the MP9, just looking to milk the cash cow here towards ramp. Desi's going to take his place, and Nitro hits 2 good headshots. So Surreal, next in line, takes down 2 with a wild spray, and the damage has been dealt galore. Stanislaus still going to be able to plant the bomb, however, so this is a successful round.
Yeah, bomb plant, Elige with an AK, 1v3. If he can get this done with no armor, no utility, I mean, it'll be an insane play. The smokes are helping him. They just dissipate. Look for a double peek from Complexity. Elige will get the first one. The second is close. That's Android. The bomb is planted default, so Elige really has to wide swing form it through the smoke. Finds Android. He's sticking the defuse, though. Elige can't get all 3. The defuse comes through. Complexity get 4, but it's an expensive round as Liquid only had P250s. And they're able to drop 4 rifles and force 4 rebuys and a bomb plant. I mean, that's a win for Liquid.
I mean, they're walking away with heads held high. Team Liquid fully reinvest back into this round. They're able to afford the op in the hands of JDM. Everybody gets their utility, and there's still at least 1,000 cash left over for, say, 4 of the 5. So, great round for them to nearly get on the board, but Complexity do find themselves their 4th. And this hasn't really given them much chance to grow their own economy, but they are still consistently playing these aggressive pushes. I mean, already we've got one player towards underpass, Slemmy, you know, has side-by-side with Android, so they've got 2 rifles, 1 each direction, and currently Team Liquid towards the top of mid. They've left the bomb here as well, so they're not looking to commit as of yet, but Stanislaus sprays, Slemmy catches him off guard, and that's the opening frag, yet again, going the way of Complexity.
Nice opening pick, Stanislaw, you're right, spamming through the smoke, feeling he was safe. The peek comes out from underpass, Elige, working up catwalk with Nitro, which has been fortified from Complexity. It's been given up. Liquid have free reign towards that position. JDM going to be supporting from chair. Elige is going to be able to find Desi, the jungle player. So that opens up this part of the map for Elige to start to wiggle in. Complexity with 3 members on the B side of the map, and if they would have continued that push forward, they would have spotted the bomb, which is left towards top mid from Liquid. Instead, Complexity now going to start the shuffle back towards A, where Surreal lies alone and might need some help shortly, as Liquid have catwalk, window, jungle control. They're really in the driving seat this round, as Complexity have tied it up at 4 members apiece. And look at Nitro to jump in window as well. Liquid are going towards the A site.
Here's the flank from Android, though. He finds 1 headshot, so Hayes is going to peek wide. Surreal toppling him over, but caught with a flash in hand. Def, luckily, able to trade that back, leaving JDM on his lonesome, but he has an op, and so does Android, who's able to grab himself not only another frag in the round, but also a 5th now for Complexity. Great way for them to respond. I mean, they have that early underpass control, and then once they get that frag, they're trying to find an avenue of exit. Mid is being contested by Liquid, so all 3 players fall back into the B bomb site, and they are able to get towards the A site in time to stop that plant. So, great stuff from Complexity, but Liquid, of course, with that economy sitting behind them, and now a full round loss bonus, they're going to buy in yet again 4 AKs and a Tech 9 for Nitro.
That's real towards top mid. Gonna take some shots and just fall back. Complexity have done a great job so far of knowing where they can hang, and they know that taking these aim duels towards mid is not something they're feeling too content with. They'll keep someone towards jungle, just make sure they don't push too aggressively into that position, but Complexity, they know they can push opposite sides of the map and try to find this 2v1 engagement to get the opening pick in their favor. Been working so far. Surreal gets one towards catwalk. Def gets caught with a smoke out. An immediate trade from Nitro, who was going to try to inch forward and grab that M4. Instead, will just fall back and take his fallen comrade's AK. So immediately we're back into a 4v4. Liquid, catwalk, and mid control once again. But Complexity, a good read on the situation. 2 players towards B immediately as soon as that player falls. Android will re-smoke calls. Stanislaw going to come through it. So the opposite rail and Android towards Van. We'll see if they can hold on against this Liquid siege.
Liquid creeping their way in. Android jump peeks, though. He makes contact. Snakes are going to go wide, but it's Android to find 2 headshots. He's looking for more as Stanislaw does peek out. It's the op of Surreal to find those final 2. That B bomb site on absolute lockdown between Android and Surreal. Surreal is currently 13-2 on that AWP. This is a great performance from him, and honestly not somebody you tend to look towards for these sorts of numbers, but great game thus far from him, and this is going to force Liquid back into the pistols because they need to get their economy back underneath them.
Yeah, it's been a while since Surreal's really been putting up numbers like this, you're right, and it's really good to see him doing this. Complexity, 6-0 Liquid. I don't know if anyone would have seen this coming for a good start from Complexity on the CT side. Liquid's pick, however, Complexity did get to pick the CT side first. And look at this, another shift in Complexity game plan. 3 towards A, they're going to come running out. Slemmy, Surreal, opening this up. All the kills going Complexity's way as Slemmy will find one. Desi cleans up the last. And Complexity, a good read on the situation, knowing what Liquid's economy will be like. And they decided to just stack up aggressive towards A site. One in Ninja, one under Belk, op supporting towards Triple. And it's as easy as slicing pie as they get round number 7. And look for Liquid to have rifles on the board and an op in JDM. We'll see what they're going to do. I mean, they're probably going to give more room for JDM to work this op around the map now. It's he's going to go towards A ramp, try to open it up. But again, Complexity switching up what they're doing once more. There hasn't been a round where they've rinsed and repeated anything. There's been different aggressions, different plays. Surreal towards Catwalk this time. He catches Stanislaw off guard. And he's even going to hold for the repeat. Surreal feeling really good right now.
Yeah, this kind of confidence is already starting to show in his gameplay. Nice to see. It's crazy to think that the most successful round for Liquid thus far was the time they had only their pistols and worked into that A bomb site. So since then, it's been Complexity all over them. Slemmy inside of jungle. He's going to hear the smokes, see the footsteps, but now it's Unleashed to take some damage through the smoke, and Desi lying in wait behind Ticket Booth is going to hear this presence ever so close. Hazed and Nitro both coming in, but Nitro looks the wrong direction. He will get dinked, still finds the frag as the bomb is now planted. Into the 4v4 we go. Surreal pinned down with that AWP, but the teammate's flash is going to help him out. Hayes trying to fall back into cover, but he's pinned here, so he has to take the fight. It's Hayes to trade it back down as he finds yet another Def through the edge of the box to transition it into the 2v2, but time is quickly ticking.
JDM towards A ramp, has an up, spots Def, won't go for the full peak. Keep in mind, Elige on 34, playing sight. There's a smoke. Elige is going to wide swing just as soon as he hears that smoke bounce, and Liquid will get one on the board. It came down to the hold from JDM and Elige, but they get it done. Rebuys will come out, and just like that, Complexity now. They haven't really had a chance to build their economy. We mentioned it earlier. The rounds they've been winning lately, they've been keeping some members alive, but in general, throughout this beginning half, they've been only keeping 1 or 2 members alive. And it's been a while since we've seen a retake. Liquid will come out on top of that one, 7-1. Liquid once again back towards top mid pressure. Surreal towards window. Can't find the shot through the smoke. Almost threaded the needle. As Liquid, a quick play up Catwalk. Def caught off guard. He'll fall. Entry into the B site. Android is all alone. Surreal rotates and he'll drop.
Android's trying to pop heads here with 2 targets from each direction. JDM finds another, so a 5-on-2. And suddenly Liquid looking hot and heavy. Slemmy trying to get in from Marketplace, takes a lot of damage from the spray here off of Nitro, but he does still stand. So he's going to retreat with that AWP. Clearly Complexity have already called the save into this situation. How many times now, Seaside, have we caught players on Complexity being caught off guard with their nades in hand?
It's been a couple times already in this game, which is essentially a couple times too much. I mean, you can't really always be aware of what's going on. The one time it was Surreal towards Catwalk, he gets the first pick, he falls back. His teammate gets caught with the smoke, trying to smoke his trail as he retreats. And I mean, it's at this point where Liquid have 5 members alive. They want to hunt Slemmy. He is an op. Elige is going to find him. Great flash over from his teammate. And Liquid all of a sudden get round number 2 on the board for themselves. Complexity still is 7. They still have room to work. But this half is slowly starting to transition into something Liquid can snowball. Keep pushing it forward. We'll see if Complexity go for a buy here. I mean, you have 5,600 on Surreal, 6,000 Slemmy, 4,800 Desi. Do we see a couple of UMPs? And it looks like they're just going to play it safe. So you can see Complexity are not worried about giving Liquid round number 3. They're just content to go for pistols and a little bit of utility.
This is going to help out Liquid, theoretically. JDM peeks wide from ramp, but the smoke grenade's going to force him back, so no opening pick off of that AWP. Complexity having 2 players towards Catwalk are just going to inch these pistols forward. Def with the Deagle trying to make some kind of a contact, but as of now, nothing's found. Complexity with 2 players as well over here towards A, but very much positioned towards the back of the bomb site. Not trying to force these fights up close by ramp. That's going to play into the strength of the AWP. JDM spots the second, topples him as well, and now this one should just snowball to the benefit of Liquid.
Yeah, that's looking like the case. A good nade in. Elige is able to dodge it. They know where Def is. He'll go down. Surreal and Android with pistols and CT. They may poke and prod towards the site, but I think they might just hold and see if anyone from Liquid oversteps towards CT. Surreal's hoping someone comes around the corner so CZ can say hello. Stanislaw, I don't think he's going to consider that. So Liquid will get round number 3. Complexity will have a full buy in the next round. Up, everything they need for success. And I mean, Complexity, I think they've surprised a lot of people so far with the amount of rounds they've gotten on the board. I think they've caught Liquid off guard with giving up map control in the sense of, we'll let them have top mid, we'll only challenge it with an op at the beginning of the round. After that, we're going to push something. Speaking of pushing, they're able to drop 2 players here. They may just die with the bomb, but if they can drop these rifles, look at this, that's 4 players down. Liquid are only able to save 1 AK. They lose the op. What just happened before my eyes?
Jesus, I mean, you can see that the first player was caught jumping from the top of stairs towards Tetris, so he's just plucked from the skies, and at that point, you can see Liquid just scrambling back into the bomb site, so I think Complexity just hit that timing on the head. Liquid had figured they had already decided to fall back and save the little that they did have, and ultimately, Complexity just, surprise, surprise, push on in. 3 frags off of Android, so excellently done. Very costly round here. Still goes the way of Liquid, 3 consecutive on the board, but they reinvest most of what they have left over here into the 11th. And this time around, it's not going to be the A setup. They're not going to go for the mid control, but instead walk contact into the B bomb site, where it is Android, yet once more, attempting to hold. JDM, the first man forward, sees Android, but he also sees Catwalk, so Surreal's toppled over the first to fall as Elige takes the headshot. It's a 5-on-3, and Liquid, with nothing but ease, have worked their way into this site.
Yeah, 5v3 already. Nice picks from JDM with the help of Elige to find Android. And Slemmy and Def, I think they're just going to try to get out of here. There's already smoke towards window. Nade comes in, slows Def, and the shots through Haze will find him. That's a funny way to go. But Def will fall. Slemmy and Desi, last 2 remaining from Complexity, going to try to save these rifles. Liquid will get round number 4. And as I start to praise Complexity, Liquid really start to find the holes in this defense. Android, that was the first time he did play Get Right, and the first time that JDM peeks it with an up, just in that fashion. And Elige, good trade on his part, and just like that, it's going to be 7-4. Slemmy and Jungle going to try to hang on to his M4. I mean, it's critical they save these 2 M4s. They've been getting hunted down normally by Liquid, so it's good that Complexity are able to hold on to these M4s. With 4-round loss, we'll see what they're going to be thinking. Desi can drop 1 player in M4. We might just see Slemmy and Desi hold down a site while pistols, upgraded pistols, go to the other. But Liquid slowly starting to make this a good half for themselves.
They're not going to buy into this round, interestingly enough. I thought for sure we'd see those rifles just kind of switched on over, but instead we'll have Slemmy and Desi hanging on to what they grandfathered forward, and everybody else just upgrading to a few pistols. Android has that deagle again, though, and we saw what he did last time. Def up close towards the A ramp, where Complexity have decided to stack. They've got 4 players in it itself. Android to find the first. Haze peeks wide. Surreal trades him down, and Android trying to scramble for the op, but he too toppled as Stanislaw finds yet another. It's Slemmy to finally trade, but Nitro and Elige close things down before they can really get away from them. Liquid with a 5th round, 5 consecutive now, really turning this game around.
I think Complexity are going to call for a timeout here, so they are going to talk things through. It's been a while since they've seen success, 5 in a row, as you mentioned, so we'll see what their switch-up's going to be. The aggression across the map has really been working out for them, but giving up mid now, Liquid have been like, okay, they're going to give us mid, we'll just take it, and we'll find picks across from it. We can do B splits for free, essentially, and Liquid are really just taking advantage of that mid-map given to them right now. So we'll see if Complexity's switch-up's going to be, okay, we want to contest mid, let's push mid. It's going to be a quick pause. It's already going to be done, so we'll see what Complexity are going to pull out of their hat this time.
They've pulled out the double op setup. Android going to upgrade into the sniper rifle. Surreal still has his, so maybe that explains why we didn't see them buy into the last round. They had already predicted that they'd need the full investment into this one, and so it works out in this case. However, it does bottom out all of their economies, barring Desi, who still keeps his hands on 1100, but that's his very slim cash flow this late into the game. 13th round is upon us. Team Liquid still playing just JDM on that op. And we'll see what Complexity decide to do. Android still heading over towards the B bomb site. Surreal towards A. So the positions haven't changed, just their weaponry.
Surreal this time going to take a different angle for the top mid peak. JDM's posted on this, so Surreal's going to take the lower part of connector to peak and slowly edge his way up. What a shot to find the head of Elige. Not even JDM who was holding the angle. He spots Elige, who's just peeking behind JDM. Essentially just playing the buddy system. Lovely opener from Surreal. And Complexity, that might be the change-up they need. The double ops might catch him off guard. Android posted towards B apps with one. Stanislaw, we'll see how ready he's going to be. He's certainly going to be contemplating it, but he won't peek it alone. He'll fall back. Liquid already at a man disadvantage from a nice opener from Surreal.
And the thing is that Liquid lose their first player to the dynamic positioning of Surreal, but that's what we've seen so far from Complexity on the CT side, was his op positioning changing over and over. They've yet to find out that Android also has that op, so if they don't try to execute into the bomb site by using smokes and sectioning off pieces of the maps and those long angles, then we could very easily see Complexity find more picks. But for the time being, Liquid have found the opening in middle and have prepped their way towards the bottom of Connector. Nitro coming in from Palace is going to try to get that Molotov underneath, but it doesn't quite connect, so Desi's going to hold position. Slemmy as well, very much on the site, but Hayes is able to open up shop. Desi still standing, also toppled over, and Hayes doing quick work of this A-site defense.
Oh, Hayes still got it. Nitro finds Surreal. Great entries from Hayes. Stanislaw jumped in the window. Oh, timing doesn't work out for him. Android peeks it before he can punish his teammate. Def was about to drop. Good save from Android. As Liquid will get round number 6. They're going to be within 1. Complexity are just going to hold for some exits. Android's towards CT. Def will get himself top mid. Great entries from Hayes to find the first player, then the second. No problems for him. Complexity. The double ops worked initially. They were able to get the opening pick from Surreal. They never really transitioned to the B site, so Android didn't have a chance to utilize his and catch someone off guard. So the double ops, the positionings were a little off, didn't work from Liquid went towards the A site. And that's just sometimes how the cookie crumbles. You don't always get the pieces to align in your favor when you go for a setup like that. So 7-6 will be the score line, and it's getting to a good T half for Liquid right now. It's getting to those numbers.
Speaking of off positions, I think it's a little weird that with Desi sitting underneath of Palace and then Slemmy inside of the A bomb site, they had no contest whatsoever towards middle. So Liquid were allowed to just walk straight up Connector, come right into the A bomb site, and sure enough, Hayes hit some really crisp headshots. But there was nobody there to slow them down. There was nobody to help out those players. They were very much sectioned off and kind of left to the wolves. This time round, Stanislaw to the top of mid, already going to smoke off windows. So Liquid going to go for this fast B split. We saw it previously, and it did work out. Great utility usage. They're already pushing on forward. Android's going to get spotted. Def as well, the first to fall.
Wow.
The B-site crumbles again with very surgical precision. Liquid just push in and wreck face.
And it's going to be another save situation. Surreal Devsy going to want to save for the final round of the half. Liquid are going to hunt them down. Good opening shot from Surreal. Can he get it out in a second? He can. He'll find Nitro. But Liquid, again, knowing, okay, Complexity are going to give us top mid. They're still not going to contest. I mean, they've thrown one out there once in a blue moon to challenge us. We smoked mid window off the get-go. We smoked catwalk. We smoked top mid. We just run up catwalk. There was little to no contest coming through from Complexity. And Elige with his off angle towards triple. Surreal oversteps. It may just drop. Liquid know they have them pinned towards CT. So Flash comes out, JDM comes out on top, and Desi will fall swiftly after. So 7-7, Liquid have certainly turned this boat around. And they have it in probably close to 6th gears. They're just cruising right now.
21 frags for Surreal, 12 on Android, and then 5-6-5 for the rest of Complexity. Not everybody hitting shots here tonight. Liquid kind of overwhelming them now. Seems as though they've figured out Complexity. We've seen them go towards a set piece play towards the B site. That's worked out. It's going to be Hayes to try and enter into A this time around. And again, Complexity caught off guard by the sheer aggression of Liquid. Stanislaw and Hayes combine for 3. Slemmy's able to drop 1 player within that gunfight, but it is just Surreal and Android again in a 2v4. The 15th round, of course, nothing to save. They're going to have to make this 2v4 retake happen.
Taking a 1-round lead would be nice for Complexity. They can on the CT side. Will it continue transition and snowball? Double mollies out. Surreal pinned down from Palace. That's Hayes. He's going to get peeked from sight. Goodbye. Leaves it all on Android, who's behind a smoke and molly, a UMP. And surely Liquid could take round number 8, and they will in the back of Elige, finding that headshot. So 8-7. The Complexity had a couple members firing off pretty early in that half. I mean, you had Surreal and Android really working together well from the catwalk and B position. Other than that, Liquid really just found their footing after losing 7 straight and just didn't stop. They kept the pedal to the metal, the gas pedal to the floor.
Interesting enough to see Hayes here at the top for the efficacy of Team Liquid. I mean, 11 frags to his name. We saw a lot of explosive play from Hayes. There just seems to be kind of, Liquid putting him up front, allowing him to just do his thing, and then the rest of the team following suit behind him. I think that makes sense as he is a stand-in to just, make him feel as though he's within his comfort zone, see what he can do on an individual basis, and then play off around it. But if you look over towards the complexity side, I mean, who else to note but Surreal? This guy's sitting on 21 frags, 10 deaths,
Crazy.
112 ADR, and he has 7 rounds with at least a 2K in them. So pretty crazy impact. Although, albeit there were some rounds where it was just the hunting from Liquid that netted him some kills. Obviously, when they push out through Marketplace and he's waiting with the op, those sorts of situations. But still, early on, dynamic op positioning all over mid, all over catwalk, and even towards that A-bomb site. Really did lock down those first 7 rounds for Complexity until Liquid seemed to have figured them out.
Yeah, they figured out that Complexity, they were going for these cheeky pushes like down A ramp, couple underpass, pushing B apps, and they just said, okay, you wanted to go for these pushes? We'll just play passive on those part of the maps. We might throw a player towards A ramp to hold it or player palace. Other than that, we're going to throw 3 top mid pretty much every single round. We're going to smoke you off. We're going to force you to take these engagements with us. And if you die towards cat, we'll go cat. If connector's open, we're just going to go up connector. I mean, it was just easy flowing from Liquid once they got their footing, once they got towards top mid, and the rest kind of just fell apart for Complexity. They never really wanted contest mid. I think it was just like, let's give it to them. We'll play the connector, we'll play the catwalk. And before we get in the pistol, I do just want to quickly mention, because I personally have a iBUYPOWER PC, and I love it to death, and I think you guys deserve a chance to enter into the chance to win one. So head over to iBUYPOWER.com/iBUYPOWER, invite, enter into a chance to win this awesome gaming PC. They're sick. You'll love them, guaranteed. And get ready for some high-octane pistol rounds, Ronnie.
Oh, I'm ready. We're going to see that Tech 9 tossed over to Desi, so a raid boss here in the Pistol of Complexity, and a lot of utility. The 3 smoke grenades and the early presence towards the A site, a clear indicator that we are going to see the set piece. And currently there's only Nitro over towards the A site defending, but already towards top mid, Team Liquid have 2 players pushing forward, so they've realized, of course, exactly what's coming their way, and luckily for them, Hayes does have a kit to go for this retake.
Nitro, he's jumped take a boot, the Liege. Gap in the smoke, a very small one, but he's going to take full advantage of it. What a tap on a Desi, as he is just going to fall back in the jungle, wait for his teammates. The T's trying to aggress towards CT. They have to go through the smoke, so this might get scary for them. There's 2 Team Liquid members here. Def is going to start to charge off. There's actually all 3. They're going for a boost in CT. Slemmy finds Stanislaw. Down they go, and Complexity just overwhelm the sure defense of Liquid from the CT. What a flick from a Liege up towards Def. Nice shot as it's all on JDM in a 1v2. He's going to work his way into CT. He knows both players are lying here and wait. Taps the first one, and the second question is, where's the kit and does he have time? I don't think there is one. And this might be close. I think he's got it, though. Oh.
Easy.
Man.
Nice play from JDM there in a 1v2. I mean, of course, we see the tag player right here, the replay. Oh, nice peek. Gets the first one who was obviously tagged. I mean, Complexity seemed like they were hitting a bit of a wall when they entered into that bomb site, but then once they all grouped up, Slemmy got his hands on the Tech 9 and they just overpowered that CT spawn presence for the most part. It was the retake actually from the jungle connector pushers of Liquid that were able to close out the round. I mean, JDM finishes off a tag player and then hits that crisp headshot to close it out. Great play from Liquid, nice little retake, and a valiant effort from Complexity. But it will be Liquid with the weapon advantage here in the second round. Complexity not going to buy anything, seeing as they have the bomb plant, so they too, just like Liquid, looking for that round 3 AK. They'd love to get a plant in this round to really just ensure the bells and whistles on their buy, but Stanislaw has other ideas. As he's creeping through apartments, he spots Slemmy, and Slemmy's going to disengage. At this point, both teams making contact, but Alige finding the opening frag.
When they gushes him with a clock and falls off, Surreal finds one towards mid window. Desi's calling for a boost. They're a little slow to react. They're going to do it now. Nitro's going to be all over this, though. If it came a second later, it might have worked out into their favor. There might have been a rifle in their hands. Desi gets it. And look at that. So he's just going to slowly fall off. So even if he dies there, the M4 can get retrieved. So there you go. Slemmy will pick that up. Still a good pick for Complexity to fight towards mid. Nitro is going to be a pain towards Catwalk while the bomb transitions towards Underpass. Just in the nick of time as Slemmy gets around the corner. So Liquid know exactly where they're headed. They're going to send a player up Catwalk, a player Market, and they should get shredded here with no armor.
Nitro's already in position. Def with the Deeg, trying to make a shot happen, but nothing as of yet. Alicia's rotations arrive, and at this point, it's Complexity to just fall like flies. Def dealing damage. You can see Stanislav 45, Nitro and Elige both sub 20 HP. So there was a lot of damage actually dealt here from Complexity, but clearly not enough. Complexity, unable to find the bomb plant, are still going to buy into this round regardless. It will net them armor, AKs, but a clear limitation on utility.
Yeah, that bomb plant would have been huge for their utility. It would have gotten them some flashes, maybe in some mollies. So we'll see. I mean, they're going to have 3 smokes to work with. Surreal already smokes top mid. And we'll see Slemmy starting to work his way there. Bombs on the back of Desi. They are headed towards the B site where Stanislav's are going to be jump peeking. And you can tell Liquid are feeling comfortable. It's to the point where Elige feels confident to peek in this gap in the smoke towards top catwalk with just his M4, with support from one player in window. So, I mean, they're feeling confident. They're hitting the shots. JDM jump peeking. Good molly. He's going to separate Def from his teammates. Complexity going to try to pull off the Liquid where they fight for mid control, but Liquid are putting up a bit more of a defense than Complexity did on their CT side. With a Legion ladder room, one player mid window, and Team Liquid are feeling pretty good to take these duels.
At this point, though, Complexity just down to 1 smoke. That on the belt of Def. Other than that, it's flashbangs. Now, Liquid have done a good job of already pushing into Palace, so despite Complexity coming into the A bomb site and possibly finding a plant, the after plants aren't going to be held all too strongly. Meanwhile, JDM just creeping along the edge of the smoke. He's going to hear the bomb being planted, but it is on the other side of triple. So instead, he clears connector. Desi, on his exit, takes his head as well. So 2 players from Complexity towards CT spawn, the other 2 on ramp. There's a lot of flanks coming in here and a lot of sandwich players. But Stanislav from CT spawn, he takes 2, Surreal and Android, the last line of defense. Surreal's going to get himself into the sandwich as Android falls. It's all on Surreal. Nitro responses, but Surreal still standing as Hayes takes the frag. It will be the defuse in the round to Liquid.
You mentioned it was a really heads-up play from Liquid. Once they know they've given up the connector control pressure, and the jungle player doesn't feel confident enough to just 1v4 challenge that, they push both of the SMGs, which were aggressive A ramp and under balcony, into Palace, and they go for a wrap. Hayes is the one to wrap all the way around. Nitro stays aggressive into Palace with his UMP. So you can see Liquid know when they've given up a certain part, okay, well, we know where a majority of their attack's coming from. Let's try to flank the other part. And it works out beautifully now. Round 11 on the board for Liquid. You'll see Complexity buy up with some armor and pistols. More utility almost than they had on their rifle round. As already some nades will come in, definitely down to 82. And we know how good Android's Deagle is. Question is, will they be able to ring some heads here on round number 19, as they're just going to wait for the smoke to dissipate. Hayes and Elige posted, eyes forward, willing and waiting for them to proceed.
And they come on in without using the smoke, so Complexity's hanging on to the utility for the after plant. 1 plumes now, but it's a little too late. Hayes has already removed Desi from the equation. Android able to trade it back, but it's JDM's op shot to hit, I believe, what was a collateral. Android punches the numbers in, but Liquid punches Complexity down, and that will be round number 12.
Heads up play from Elige. You realized he was taking some shots his way. Instead of just continuing the challenge and possibly dropping, he just falls back, which does net Complexity a bomb plant. But at this point, if you're getting a get on round 12, and Complexity are going to get a pretty good buy next round regardless, just due to 4-round loss, and them getting 3 plants already in these 4 rounds, I mean, it's kind of just the point where you're like, okay, whatever, have it. Get the bomb plant, 4-round loss. Their buy's going to be strong, without it, pretty much. The ops back out in Surreal, who had a huge impact with it on the CT side. Look for him to continue to have this impact on the T side. I mean, he hasn't really fallen off. He's still been looking good with the pistols, but it's the first time on the T half with an up. We'll see how they're going to utilize it.
Yeah, standard little top mid smoke, but it's going to be Hayes to creep on the other side. He's been able to afford himself the peak to underpass, and now that he sees it clear, they only have to worry about the top of mid. Of course, Dev is still over towards the apartments. He could come forward, but it's Android to step out wide. Nitro and Elige combining for the opening 2, and in a matter of seconds, it is Complexity down to the 3v5. Of course, they still have the op in the hands of Surreal, and he was meant to find them a pick, but now he has to find them some kind of equalizing frag.
Yeah, good play from Hayes. You're right, to work out of that smoke to peek underpass. Great teamwork from Liquid towards catwalk to double peek, find two, and immediately fall off. Surreal brings it to just a 1-man deficit. He's going to continue to work towards the catwalk position. Bomb is on the back of Desi as he works through T-spawn. There is one player up in connector. Lovely peek from Surreal. Drops Elige as quick as he saw him. As Def gets ready to work up connector now, he doesn't have to worry about the pressure coming from jungle. He knows that's clear. It's all about the site and CT at this point, and I think Complexity have a good read on the situation. They know window's clear. They still know there's a player B. As Complexity get ready to go towards the A site. It's all on Def and how he times this with his teammates towards A ramp. As they're down to 30 seconds, they have a couple mollies. No, 3 mollies to be exact, as they slowly get ready to go. But Nitro, can he lock this out?
Oh, he unscopes at the worst possible time, but he will still connect on to Desi. It's JDM to find the head of Def, and so Surreal, that Opper who was meant to find the entry, now the last man standing. Again, so much damage dealt with both Nitro and JDM tagged heavily, but at this point, Complexity no. Surreal's just got to back off, give up the round. Number 13 goes the way of Liquid, and at this point, it has all been consecutive Seaside. We have not seen a round on the board since the 7th from Complexity. Here towards the end of the round as well, Surreal goes down. Certainly not going to help. He's left deflated at $350. Complexity going to reinvest with what they can.
13 rounds in a row is the story right now?
Yep.
That's a pretty sad story if you're a Complexity fan, unfortunately. That's an unlucky number, but Liquid 13 in a row going to continue to push this. Complexity have Surreal on a P250. His other teammates will get armor and AKs, 1 UMP on Slemmy, who has the bomb and full utility. We'll see what Complexity can go for. It looks like they're setting up for a full-blown execution. Desi smoking sandwich, or smoking jungle, smoke CT, stairs, the typical smokes. As Hayes is going to be smoked off, Elige waiting for a flash, and I imagine he'll peek. But the molly from Liquid has held Complexity back, so staggering this attack, as they're just going to come out now. But look at Liquid. They have 4 members on this side of the map.
Yeah, it's Elige out in the open, though. He finds Desi, and he's going to try to retreat, but Def able to punish exactly that. Hayes into the next in line as Slemmy's going to punch the numbers in. Def is able to stop him from peeking and stopping that plant. Excellently done here from Complexity. They finally get an entry to work, but again, the question remains, can they hold the after plant? This is where they've struggled, but Def finds the 3rd and nearly a 4th. Stanislaw trading it back into the 2v3 we go. CT spawn and connector is what is being pushed. Slemmy inside of Sandwich, Android back towards a ramp. The bomb planted standard, though, not going to be in his line of sight, so now it's going to be onto Surreal. At this point, Nitro's closing the distance, and it's only the P250. Android stops the first, but Nitro takes him down. The wide peek not going to happen. Complexity find the round.
That was so tense. I think that was a 2v4 at one point, 2v5, I believe?
Yep.
Came down to a 1v1. As if that deagle shot would have ran out, he had a kit. As Complexity will stop the 13-round streak. It looks like 13 is bad luck after all. Complexity will get round number 8. Team Liquid, with a bank built up, will buy into this. JDM with the op. Double op on Nitro. UMP and Elige and a couple M4s. Meanwhile, Complexity, their buy is going to be a little more, even weaker. I find the Galil is not going to be getting as much airtime as it used to, with the UMP being as strong as it is currently, but it looks like Complexity still favorite, as they will have 3 Galils, 2 AKs, Nitro aggressive towards Catwalk, Elige just spotting towards underpass and top mid. For Liquid, nothing too crazy, as Elige will get Gush and have to fall back. If that was an AK, Elige would have lost his head. Good thing it was just a Galil.
Mid control very much in the hands of Complexity at this point. Flashbangs trying to force the Catwalk player back, but Nitro still looks to engage here. Double op setup from Liquid. And a lot of forward A-site control. Meanwhile, Elige has put himself in a bit of an awkward spot. He's very much committed to this connector fight. Slemmy, Surreal, and Def all towards the bottom of mid, have support at the top of the boxes, and the anchor of Desi over towards A. So we can see that Complexity are trying to gear into this A-site split. Whether or not Elige locks them down, that's the question.
They're walking backs forward. They're not ready for Elige to be here. He gets one, almost gets a second. The op from Nitro can't find a shot, so Elige played that so well. Complexity neglecting where Elige may have ran to, as he's only able to get one. Good trades, as we're back to a 3v3 immediately. The secondary op on Nitro ringing out one until they'll finally drop JDM and A ramp. They're not going to be ready for this. He's going to hold for a second, gets the first, the second comes out. Slemmy finds him, as it's all on Stanislaw and CT. Desi says hello, and there you go. Complexity one away from double digits, 13-9. And Liquid gonna be forced back down to the pistols. It's been a while since I've said that. I mean, even with stringing 5 rounds together on the CT side, after losing 2, they're immediately back down to pistols. The double op is expensive. Complexity still got a foot in the door in this game.
Yeah, and Complexity have been doing a good job of at least getting bomb plants on the board as well here for their T side. So while they only have grabbed 2, this could be an easy third. Pistols only for Team Liquid. 2 upgraded, 3 USPs, and 3 players going to push up towards the A site. So trying to take those close quarters fights within that range of lethality. But for for the time being, no contact made. It's just Android creeping his way through the apartments, trying to find something. Nitro is dangerously close at the bottom of Underpass, however, so if he were to be killed here, Android's going to give up this M4 for free, and then who knows what happens.
Yeah, it looks like Android is just going to hold. Nothing too crazy for him yet, holding for Underpass and BAP's push. They have a good idea what Liquid are going to be looking like right now with their buy. Bomb is left in T-spawn for Complexity, as they are just going to settle into a default across the map. They don't want to go for anything crazy. They'll gain top mid control, which is fairly safe considering what Liquid have invested. They spot Stanislaw, smoke off window. Stanislaw through the box, I think that was.
That was sick.
That's pretty crazy. Sends Slemmy down to 82. Nitro coming up from Underpass. Spots one player, going to spot Slemmy. He's been having no luck so far, as Nitro is able to just creep himself into connector. Slemmy spots it, good peek, but he'll fall. So the pistols from Liquid, unable to get a kill. They inflict some damage, but 42, 66, and 2. They'll still be 11, as Complexity will get to double digits. And we'll see if Liquid are going to buy into this, and immediately they will. So the M4 bought in Stanislaw, it's going to be M4s across the board unless a Liege glass cannon drops it or uses it, which I don't see becoming a possibility, really. So it is just going to be M4's utility. The Liege goes for a molly. So they have a single molly, smokes on everyone. And this is a huge round. This will open the door for Complexity pretty much all the way for them to sneak back into this game, if they're able to take this one.
Ooh, nice peek from Android. Very aggressive through the smoke already. Nitro's going to get pinned into the ladder room, and he's already tagged up here, so he is in hot water. The connector peek, however, could shine through from Elige if he attempts to help his teammate out, but Nitro going to get tagged to 46 at this point, and still not quite that safe. Elige, trying to make contact, decides to tuck tail in order to keep himself alive as well. So Complexity, again, with aggressive pushes to the top of middle, are able to net themselves control.
We'll see what they do with it. I mean, they know where one player is for Liquid. He does have support, as Nitro was being held for Surreal. He's going to continue to be held towards that hole, as Elige is going to be playing towards top connector. Mid-window smoke, Stanislaw, a little blind, but he's going to take the peek. Def not looking his way. He'll fall. Android, same fate as Stanislaw finds 2. And just like that, we're in a 3v3 situation. The HP and the advantage of Complexity is Nitro somehow escapes with his life. Stanislaw on 34 after he gets 2. Nitro 19. Hazed, yet to move on the A side. He's just been this anchor who's going to stay there. And Stanislaw looking for the third towards Catwalk.
You can see how the play is just slowed down, though. Everybody knows what's on the line in this round, and the health incredibly low, but 2 more backs turn to Stanislaw. He's got the 4K. It seems as though Complexity are so worried about the long-range fights that they keep giving their backs to the up-close players. I mean, time and time again, backs being presented. But Stanislaw, an ace, potentially on the table. Desi is going to hold the angle, though, and the flank here from Hayes makes contact, but the headshot found. Desi still standing, and this is doable. Low HP, but Nitro, with a gap in the smoke, will find the final frag. Team Liquid going to transition onto number 14.
Yeah, they were so concerned of Nitro pouncing from ladder room and the A player from connector that they just neglected Stanislaw. He peeked and got 2. Just continued to hold fast. Complexity weren't thinking possibly he's still there. They were worried about Nitro pouncing from ladder room, and he peeks right when Stanislaw comes around. So great play from Liquid to keep those 2 players in an aggressive position and one to deal damage. As Complexity get 4 AKs, Liquid will have the rifles and 1 UMP. So pretty much an equal buy if you count the Tech 9 as deadly as a UMP. As Complexity are going to fight for top mid control, 2 towards Underpass. JDM, typical same old molly. Won't do much, but it will keep those players separated without support towards top mid for now.
Dan trying to make contact, but nothing over here. Def is holding the angle to just watch for the aggressive pushes, and that's exactly what Complexity have done all around the map. They've spread their numbers thin, tried to keep Team Liquid at bay, and they've been successful in doing so, other than a ramp. This is where Hayes has been able to push forward, trying to mitigate the disadvantage of the UMP by being up close and personal. Slemmy's going to round this corner. No utility, no flash for him to work off of, so it looks as though Complexity are going to try to split into A. We've seen them do this multiple times. Sometimes it works, sometimes they get locked down. JDM's towards jungle to try and stop it before it really gets started. And this is just the waiting game.
Well, Elige gets spotted towards triple. Hayes has to fall in her balcony into a safer position. Def, beautiful entries, as Hayes is alone on a UMP towards default now, holding for Desi to come around. Nice opener. There's 2 more towards A ramp. He is just going to get pushed into tomorrow until he gets 2. The third is almost on point. From 7 HP down to 3 is Def, as Nitro and Stanislaw They're retaking a 2v3. No kit, 2 flashes. Complexity have punched back. Can Liquid stand tall and continue to fight into this game, as they are just 2 rounds away from getting this.
It's going to be the long-term anchor. Surreal, the Tech 9 hits the dirt. Now, Def incredibly tagged over here to the left. Stanislaw could get pulled in 2 separate directions, and he's not going to keep an eye on the angles. So Def executes him with a headshot. That's a 4K on Def. Great entry fragging coming up connector as well. Kind of finds a bit of a hole there in the defense of Liquid. We could see how the first man falls for absolutely free. And if it wasn't for Hazed on the bomb site up close with the ump, well, that defense would have been lackluster all across the board. It's only Hazed who puts up somewhat of a fight, and Complexity, knowing there's a hard reset, actually invest into the double Mac 10. But Team Liquid force buy with pistols and Kevlar aplenty.
Yeah, they only have 2 members without head armor, so those Mac 10s won't be too deadly, as Liquid can be fighting. They don't want to give this one up yet. Surreal's going to be the first one out. Send the Mac 10s forward. AK supporting. Nitro gets the first one. Good trade from Surreal, as he will spot some pressure coming in from Market quickly, as he will be able to get a smoke out. Gonna re-peek. He wants the money on this. But Liquid with pistols, I wouldn't count them out yet. Full blind is Surreal, but equally so is Elige. They are going to continue to just feed themselves to the wolf that is Surreal, as he's going to just imagine jumping into Market soon. Yeah, he's just going to go for it. He wants the money at this point. He's got 3. The 4th is close. Liquid will be shut out in this round. Complexity should surely have number 12, unless JDM and his 5-7 get something going. Not to be. Surreal will finally fall, but there you have it. Liquid will afford to give up this round. Complexity within 2.
That's just a good read by Complexity, knowing the economy situation of Liquid. Pretty simple, obviously, after getting that hard reset immediate. But they make cash flow for their own banks, and at this point, they can actually play the long con. Complexity, with a lot of cash left over in their coffers, and an AWP in the hands of Surreal here in the 27th round. Team Liquid, trying to bounce back, economically speaking, have to give up a few more rounds, so this game, Seaside, is certainly going to go the distance.
Yeah, they win 13 in a row, just for Complexity to win 3. Liquid win 1, immediately reset with 2 afterwards. So this game is going to be closer than most people thought, including good old Dust, as they'll be Liquid pushed up aggressive towards A ramp in Palace, a full A stack, and if Complexity work their default accordingly, with Def holding for pushes through T, they should figure out what's going on shortly. Slemmy Surreal towards top mid, Desi Android holding the B push, Def making sure no one gets a little cheeky and pushes into T-spawn. So a pretty cut and dry round for Complexity. Liquid hoping that Complexity just ran into them, and they will just hold this all day long until Complexity show themselves elsewhere.
Nothing's going to happen towards the A site just as of yet, and you can see Liquid getting a little antsy, starting to give up their anchored position. Surreal is able to catch Nitro, and off of that entry frag, the entirety of Complexity are just going to charge on into the B-bomb site. Again, nothing else to be found here with Liquid all the way towards T-spawn and still inside of A. They could just go for exits and try to curb down the economy of Complexity, knowing that they made that cash off of the SMGs in the previous round. They have nothing to lose, really, barring the P250 of Hazed. But at this point, Slemmy and the rest of Complexity are just making mincemeat of what remains of Liquid.
Chopping them up, putting them in body bags. Complexity will be up to 13. The unlucky number that Liquid started to fall off on. But hey, Complexity will take it, as Stanislaw just going to fall back with Haze. Fun fact about number 13, most hotels avoid putting that in the elevator. So if you ever get in an elevator and don't see floor number 13, it's bad luck vibes. Fun fact.
Very fun. Bomb explodes. Complexity, 5 guys up. Easily dodge any kind of death or decay in that one. Liquid going to keep 2 players moving forward. But even now, they're not in the best of positions. So you could argue that they have to calculate whether or not they want to buy in with this one. And it would be a great, I was going to say, time for a pause. Here it is. So they'll take the time to figure out what exactly they can get. I would prefer to see them just go for some kind of a light pistol nade buy.
Yeah.
Try to make some kind of, cheeky play happen. You could go over towards the A rush ramp. Anything, really. You have a lot of options on Mirage. The aggression on armor and pistols can be successful. So just buy your time, wait another, get into the next. And in the meantime, we can take a look at the updated player statistics. Surreal still at the top of the board. Android still behind him. But it seems as though the rest of Complexity have started to come to life here on the CT side. So things are getting a little bit closer, but it is still Surreal trying his very hardest to carry this team to victory lane.
Yeah, when he gets that up, he just 9 times out of 10 is able to find a pick across the board from mid to A ramp to B apps, wherever he goes with it. He's able to find these picks. Android, good entries with the help of Def, who's gotten a 4K so far in this half. He's starting to heat up with these entries. Slemmy's starting to get there. Desi, a little cold, but he's putting up numbers, so there's nothing you can't argue. He's in the double-digit club, as we're going to sit 14-13. And before we jump back into this one, I do want to remind you guys just once more, there is a global giveaway, and I want you to enter. I want to get you guys in this giveaway to give you a chance to win a brand new gaming PC, so you too can play awesome games, for whatever game you want to play, from CS to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds to whatever you want to get going. You can get it going on this PC. So why not enter iBuyPower.com/iBuyPower/invite. Get your name in the hat as we are live on round 28.
And it does include a decent enough buy from Liquid. 4 UMPs and a P250 for JDM. So clearly he wants to save money to get that op, but all the riflers going to be firing on UMPs this time round. Def walking down to underpass. Into his Def he goes. And this is going to leave Android all alone towards apartments. At this point, Complexity not only outnumbered, but a little kind of discombobulated. 1 player per mid and B, 2 guys over towards ramp. If all of a sudden Team Liquid were to decide to charge the top of mid, which they are in prime position to do, we could see Complexity go down exactly to a 3-on-5. This is looking great, but it's Android from underpass to take back 2, and as fast as we find the 5v3, we are back into equilibrium.
This just goes to show how meta and how good the UMP is. 3v3, Nitro is going to be holding. He spotted Desi towards Firebox. He'll spot Surreal, he'll come out on top. The op can't find the shot. Nitro going to continue to push in sight. This is a huge round for Complexity. If they falter here, this might just be game. Desi comes out on top on 1, but a good retake from Hazed. Leaves it all on the 50 HP player of Android. As he has the bomb, 37 seconds. Stanislaw and Hazed. And a 2v1 to try to lock out this site with 30 seconds on the clock.
Now, Android has been making waves as of recently. He's proven his worth in this game already, but a 1v2 is what he'll need, and he's already down to half HP. Stanislaw and Hayes very much sectioned off, so they're not sure where it's going to come from. If Android were to plant standard, then he has to worry about the wide peek from CT spawn, but it's as he's falling off of Palace, Hayes, with impeccable timing, is able to find that final headshot, and a fantastic round from Liquid. Off of the disadvantageous guns, they're able to just aggress to the top of mid, take those opening duels, and win the round that they just wanted to somewhat remain competitive. So now they transition into the 29th. They're going to have that off on JDM that he saved for, rifles across the board, and luckily for Complexity, they too can afford guns in order to contest for OT.
Yeah, that round may have just made or break this game for Complexity. They're going to have to fight back 2 in a row to push into OT. Hayes already opening it up onto Desi. As Def slowly works his way towards Palace, yet to make a peep. 3 members from Complexity coming down connector. JDM worries about Palace, but he also has to worry about the repeat. Surreal will hold for that one. He'll go down. Good openers from Complexity, giving them a man advantage. As Team Liquid have 2 members towards CT, they'll smoke off connector, but look at the quick flank coming through from Nitro. Almost turns on Slemmy, not to be. Complexity have a 2-man advantage, tons of time to work with, and a Liege and Stanislaw separated as they're forced to play 1 in B, 1 in A. Complexity, the odds are stacked in their favor to really just bring this within 1 round.
Fortunately for Liquid, they're going to be split up. Stanislaw still towards Catwalk. And as long as Complexity can play the numbers advantage, they should be able to walk away with this round. I mean, Elige is just anchoring towards CT spawn, trying to fancy their chances and call for the rotation once he hears any kind of presence on the site. Complexity not giving it away as of yet. I like this. No smokes, no flashes, just creeping their way forward. But now the smoke goes out. So that's going to block off Elige. He could try to wallbang in through Ticket Booth. He would have the angle. But Slemmy's just going to go for the plant. Elige jumps high. There's no cover from Complexity. The bomb hits the dirt. 30 seconds on the clock. And it's Stanislaw to find yet another. Def Surreal 2v2. But he's caught out with a nade in hand. Surreal going to grab the bomb as well. But he burns alive. 15 seconds left. Def, the bomb. It's on top of the boxes.
Oh my goodness. The molly thrown was such a heads-up play. Alicia's gonna challenge now. Def is sticking this plan. He has to. Alicia's gonna push. Def is gonna go down. Alicia will get it. The molly was such a heads-up play from the throw from connector. It lands right on the bomb, and Def burns while he tries to retrieve it. You hate to see it, but Liquid will just execute Complexity in what was a 2v4 fashion in the end.
My goodness.